Hello and welcome back to another live stream. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Make sure to smash a like as you're coming in and subscribe if you're new. Excuse me. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. So if you can make that happen, that would be great. And today, a new era starts at West Ham United. Of course, we've known for weeks and it's been announced for weeks that Julen Lopetegui is here. I'm sorry for the brightness, by the way. I don't know what's going on. To be fair, my face just looks like it's warped in HD, etc. I look like a Simpsons character right now. I'm trying to see if I can do anything about it, but I can't. So this is the lighting you're going to have to deal with for now. But yeah, we've known for weeks that Lopetegui was manager of West Ham. However, this is the first time he's come out and spoken in a press conference. Obviously, he's spoken in a club interview. I was thinking about doing a reaction to that when it came out, and even last week I was thinking about still reacting to it. I still haven't watched that. But today we're going to go through the press conference together. Tim Steiner, the technical director, has also joined him. I can't remember the last time we we haven't really had a technical director ever at this club or a director of football. We've just been doing transfers through agents before the Moyes era. But I don't remember the last time we did where a manager and a director of football were both there at the same time. Make sure to contribute in the comment section in the chat and get your comments in, get your opinions in. What we're going to do, we're going to read through the thing on the club website. I cannot share my screen for the club website only because they might be copyrighted. They might, copyright stuff. I've seen other streamers just not share the screen whilst reading out the questions for the press conference. But let's get started. It was around 1:30 when Lopetegui was here. The first question is about why West Ham. He says, there are a lot of reasons. I'm very happy here. I see a lot of friends here. I am where I want to be. I'm at a big club. They're always going to say that. Fair enough. In my opinion, one of the big London clubs. I think we have big potential. You look at the stadium, the fans, everything is in place here. We have a good platform, the squad and the players to go one step up, improve, and to make a big noise. Well, I hope so. And honestly, as well, with Lopetegui's thing at Sevilla, like his almost history at Sevilla, I'm hoping he takes that mentality straight into West Ham when it comes to like taking cups serious and stuff like that as well. Because that's what I want to be looking at as well. I think we're all kind of sick of just, being an FA Cup for the sake of it, a League Cup for the sake of it, and just not getting past, the rounds that we're actually meant to get past. I don't even remember who beat us in the League Cup last time. I legit don't remember who beat us in the League Cup, but we got beat by Bristol City in the FA Cup last year, and I don't want to see more upsets where Kidderminster nearly beat us, or back in the day where we used to get beat by Wimbledon with Pellegrini and stuff. Tim Steiner's obviously also here. Tim Steiner is asked why Lopetegui was the standout candidate. He has the philosophy, how he coaches players and communicates with players. He speaks a lot of languages, two more than me. After the first time we met, I was convinced about him. Okay, so what is important about this? And obviously they're going to say whatever they want to say for the sake of it, and it's probably nothing new when facing the media and stuff. Like, they're going to say the generic things, of course. But what Tim Steiner has highlighted, the first thing he said is he has the philosophy. That's why we brought him in, so we can have a philosophy aligned with the technical director and the manager. And obviously Lopetegui can change up his style of play and has a plan B, etc., and won't just, go all out attack or all out defense and all that. I want somebody who's going to change it up now and then. So I'm going to be happy with. I think I'm going to be happy with what Lopetegui brings. But I'm also going to the first pre-season game at Dagenham and Redbridge. So if you're coming as well, say hi. The head coach is asked about the style of play. The style has to help you to win. That is the first step. Yep, I agree. We have to be able to have the initiative to be aggressive with the ball, but my aim as a coach is to have everything, to understand the game and have the right answers. That's what I like to hear. We know we have to know how to win games, whether we have the initiative or not. In football, you always have an important thing to do, and you can always improve. That's quite a generic statement, fair enough. Lopetegui is asked about incomings. Of course, we are working to improve. The first thing to highlight is that we are happy with the players, but of course, we are going to try to improve. We have to work very hard to be ready for the Premier League, and we would like players as soon as possible, but it's not easy. Now, if he had just said the first statement, we are happy with this. We are happy with the players. Of course, he probably has to say that because he's not going to berate any of his players in the first press conference, is he? I don't think he's even met them yet. Well, I think he's probably met a few of them. He's probably been on a call with a few of them, but he's never going to say that he's not happy with the squad. To be honest with you, most of the players that I wanted gone are gone. There's only 3 players I'd say that I'd still want. No, actually, no, that's a lie. There's probably about 5 players that I want gone still, but we can't let them go, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to stick with what we have. But obviously, if he had just said that, the first statement, and we didn't have some form of structure around us and behind us, then I would be quite concerned, and I'm sure all of us would be quite concerned. Obviously, typical West Ham, David Sullivan, and all that. However, obviously, he also does say we need to be ready for the Premier League, and we would like players as soon as possible. What I want to see, and I said this on Twitter as well, I trust Tim Steiden, and I've already seen one of the quotes. I trust Tim Steiden, but I want to see us advance with deals as soon as possible, and hopefully this week as well. We need to get stuff done. I want to see Kyle Walker-Peters done. I want to see a centre back, at least one centre back done. I want to see a striker, of course. I want to see a left winger and a right back and centre mid, obviously. So we need a lot. We need a lot. So obviously we heard Lopetegui talk about incomings. Now we got Steiden talking about incomings. I can't tell you specifics, but it will be a busy summer for us for sure. This was the quote that I actually quoted on Twitter. The owner and the board have done a really good job over recent years. That's a lie. So we're in good shape financially. Okay, to be fair, financially we are fine. We don't need to sell to buy. So that was the quote that I quoted. That's a good thing. The reason why people misquoted what ex-West Ham employee said is that ex-West Ham employee said we can't spend a lot in every position. So we can't just throw like 60 million in every position. That's what he was trying to say. So we have a limited budget each position, which is just common sense. But unfortunately, people want to stir up stuff. You've got idiots like West Ham Central that want to stir up stuff on Twitter. So he made it look like because he's got a mad following as well, people are too fickle, so they'll just follow whatever he says. And people said that we got a limited budget in general. Obviously, you got people like West Ham football. You know, the kind of the club's mouthpiece that want to peddle out stuff to trigger fans and stuff. I have that account muted as well. That's why I have most people muted on Twitter, I'll be honest. I only have like 5 accounts I actually look at when it comes to West Ham because most people just piss me off on Twitter, man. The head coach has asked about the Premier League. I think it's the competition in which everyone wants to compete. The teams and the fans create something special in every game, well, they used to. And we all want it, and we all want to be here. Well, I hope so. I don't think there's a comparison. It's the best competition in the world. He's obviously going to say that because he's managing in the Premier League. Lopetegui'S asked about his West Ham memories with Sevilla. I remember the dressing rooms. I remember the day we were here. We suffered the West Ham environment. To be fair, the atmosphere was the best I've ever seen at the London Stadium in that game. Obviously, I was there. You can go and watch the video on my channel. It used to be the go-to video when you click on my channel. I've now changed that to the Conference League match reaction. But yeah, that was a great day. That was when I used to vlog as well. I used to vlog in that season, but I stopped vlogging. I remember thinking I wanted to be here one day. That's bad to think when you're at a different club to say I want to be here one day. But I think he's just saying that. And I think he just wanted to move back to the Premier League as soon as he got sacked from Wolves because he felt like as soon as he left Wolves because he felt like he had unfinished business. I actually said that Nottingham Forest should have gone after him when they hired Nuno Espirito Santo. It was a special environment. Now I'm here, which is very special. It's important to be able to take advantage of this environment to help us. It's the extra energy we need. Now, if we see a style of football where the West Ham United team is pressing, for example, I think that would give a lot of West Ham fans hope, and it will give a lot of West Ham fans encouragement when going on match day. And also, going off that, fans go off what they see, and that will improve the environment of the whole stadium, to be honest. It might increase the atmosphere. I'm not saying there's going to be some mad atmosphere. It's not going to be like German atmosphere or anything. I'm just saying it's going to improve from what we've been seeing the past couple of years, because even when we were good, the atmosphere was dire because we were good off moments, like the way we would play. We would sit deep and attack on a counter, and that's when the fans would get up for it. But it wasn't really much chanting. It's just a typical foot stomp that we always hear in the stadium, or the "Come on, you irons," or just re-singing "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles" within the middle of the game. I'm not blaming the fans because we can only go off what we see. I'm a match-going fan. The reason why people don't get up for it is because not only is it a bad environment to actually be in a stadium and just try and create an atmosphere, and it's not really a football stadium. It's also, like as I said, fans go off what they see, and also there's a lot of what's the word, tourists in stadiums, in every stadium. That's why atmospheres are so bad now. Now, I'm not comparing tourists to worldwide fans, because there's worldwide fans. There's West Ham fans that come from different countries that are just like me and you. Um, well, most people that watch the channel are worldwide, but um, there's like Ghanaian fans, Chinese fans, Irish fans that have come, and Australian fans, etc. That all come from like different countries to come and watch us, and are just as diehard as me and you. I'm talking about the tourists that are just there because they don't watch football, or they just come in because it's a big landmark, sort of, not a landmark, but it's one of them, because it was the Olympic Stadium. They've got a ticket to go and see an event in the Olympic Stadium, like it's a Super Bowl or some shit. That's what they treat it like, unfortunately. Um, but they get tickets as well, because some people just leave their tickets. It doesn't always get sold out in that stadium, because who wants to actually go to that stadium? I'll be honest. I've got a season ticket and I'm going again next season, but who actually wants to go to that stadium? Not many people. The head coach is asked about ambitions. I don't want to set limits. I always say you can dream, but you have to work really hard to achieve those dreams. It's the best league with the best players and coaches, but we will believe. We're going to try and put those demands in the minds of the players. For that for me is key. We believe in that way to work. We'll work step by step. For now, I'm looking forward to the Aston Villa game. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how we're going to set up pre-season. Obviously, I'm not expecting instant results, but I'm expecting an instant outlay of what we're trying to do. Not obviously the final product in the first day, because we'll probably only have about 2 more signings there, and we're not going to have most of the squad for the first pre-season games. We actually only have 4 pre-season games. I'm going to try and go to the Betway Cup. Obviously, I'm not going to America to watch West Ham Wolves or West Ham Palace. I'm probably not going to go to America in general, but I'm not going to America to watch a football game. I don't want to set limits. Yeah, okay, well, no, we've read that, sorry. Steiden is asked about working with Lopetegui. It's really important. We're talking almost every day right now, especially in terms of what we can do to improve the squad. Lopetegui is asked about the 24-25 targets. Our first ambition is that we start working and try and convince the players that if we work really hard, we can overcome the difficulties we still have. With each match, we want to think about that we are able to win. We know that's not going to be possible, but having that ambition is important. Establishing that mindset is important for me. Yeah, mentality is a big thing, especially with the back end of the previous season that we just been through. It looked like a lot of the players weren't trying, but that also because Moyes probably did lose the dressing room, and a lot of them didn't believe the start of play. I don't even just think it's about Moyes, that fact Moyes lost the dressing room. Actually, I just think it's the fact that they knew he was going. And I think a lot of us knew he was going. None of us fell for the Jack Rosser tweet about him signing a 2-year deal. I just wanted to go back quickly when it was about the head coaches asked about ambitions. You have to work really hard to achieve those dreams. It's the best league with the best players and coaches, but we will believe. I want to install I want the manager to install a mindset that we can challenge against anyone. Because what is the point of just participating in football? There is no point. The head coach is asked about attacking football. First of all, I'm going to highlight previous work here. It's been really good, but we have ambitions to take another step here at this club. The fans always want to win. We believe we are going to win more if we defend and attack well. We want to take advantage of all our strengths. I look at attacking football. I think that's meant to say love, but I think that's a typo. I love attacking football, but also I love counter-attacking. And we don't need to think about one way. In football, there are lots of ways. That's what I like. There shouldn't be one way of thinking. There's a difference between being a mess and not knowing what you're doing and being a mishmash of profiles on the pitch. And there's a difference between being able to switch it up now and then and attacking different ways. And I believe that's what the manager's going to do. I wanted a balanced manager. I didn't want an all-out attack manager. I didn't want an ultra-defensive manager like Moyes. I didn't want an ultra-attacking manager like Bielsa. We were never going to get Bielsa, but that's just an example. Like in terms of style of manager, I don't want that typical manager either. However, I believe that this manager's going to switch it up due to the certain games. I just don't want to defend. Like we can defend deep. I don't mind defending deep. I don't mind sitting back and countering, but it's got to work. The most important thing when you're a manager and you go into a squad, it should be to get the best out of the players that you want and you have. So I believe to get the best out of the players that we have right now is to attack because we have better attacking players. However, we could get better defenders, but if you're buying defenders, for example, and they're better sitting high up on the pitch than sitting deeper, then you play higher up the pitch. Simple as that. And it's not really hard to explain. Steiner has asked about strikers. We're trying to build up the squad. We're not limiting ourselves to one position. We're looking at all areas. Yeah, they're going to keep the cards close to their chest. The technical director has asked about transfer strategy. England is our home ground, so we have to be in that market if possible. We are looking elsewhere too. That's part of our job to find players, right players for West Ham United. That's why I think people are confused about the whole Steiner thing. The fact that he was only going to find like gems and stuff. He wasn't only going to. The thing is, if he was to only sign players like Lewis Gilherme, for example, people would have a problem with it. But if he was to only sign players like Ward Prowse, people would have a problem with it. Now, I think we should be signing a bit of both, but it shouldn't actually matter where we're signing players. It should be mainly the profile player that we're signing and the right profile player. And also people forget when Lopetegui went into Wolves, he wanted an English core, and I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to want here as well. And the reason why I think Steiner also talks about England is our home ground is because of the whole homegrown thing that we have. We shouldn't be able to suffer with that now, but we will still have to look at English players just so we don't suffer with that in the future. Unfortunately, like looking before this summer window, we had a lot of bad English players. Danny Ings is not a bad English player, but he's not needed at the club. And I think he's surplus the requirements, and he's going to be one of the players that should leave. Lopetegui is asked about wanting to stay in England. I always say that my first thought after my first experience in England was to come back to the Premier League. And that's what we talked about earlier when talking about his experience at Wolves. I stayed a long time in England, knowing a lot about the football. I've seen a lot of matches in the Premier League because my aim was clear to stay here. Yeah, he was twerking in interviews talking about staying in the Premier League with Sky Sports and stuff. The head coach is asked about what he learned at Wolves. I learned a lot. Each league is different, and the rhythm of the Premier League is unique. All of us have to adapt, and you have to win. Take advantage of your strengths and try to avoid your weaknesses. Yep, basic stuff. Steiner is asked about Edson Alvarez and Lucas Paquetá. I spoke to Edson. The medical team are in contact with him. He's doing some rehab and then coming back to England and continuing it. So I'm pretty sure he's with the Mexico team right now. I visited Lucas in Brazil and talked to him. We're looking forward to having him back. He's an important part of our team, a member of our family. I mean, do you know what it is? If we can spend money and Paquetá is allowed to play next season, which I'm pretty sure he will be, and it's going to take longer than people think. We talked about this on the stream the other day. We could build something good if the manager, coaches properly. So I do have some hope. But I'm not going to get too excited until I see some signings. I'll be real. I'll be completely real. Lopetegui is asked about key players. The injury to Edson Alvarez is bad news for us. It's good the other guys are playing well for their countries, but hopefully they come back to us in good shape. We know Lucas Paquetá and his family have suffered a lot, talking about the betting stuff. But I like seeing him smile in his last match. So he's watching other games to, watch our players and stuff. Because he's enjoying his football. We are his family. The club is his family. And we're going to take care of him a lot. We're looking forward to having him play with us on the pitch. That's a wrap. That's pretty much the end of the Lopetegui stuff. If you guys want to put your stuff in the chat, in the live chat, put your contributions, like as in terms of what you guys think about the press conference, what you guys think about the summer, what you guys think about the transfer strategies, what do you think of Lopetegui, what do you think of Steiner, etc. Feel free to put that in the comments because obviously we chat football, etc. Big up everyone that was on Jerry's stream yesterday for the England watch along as well. I do appreciate that. Obviously, it was last minute moving to watch along and stuff, but I honestly couldn't watch that on my own. I'll be honest, I couldn't watch that on my own. I don't know if I'm gonna be on a watch along next time or do a watch along, or I'm just gonna watch it off camera with people and stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might go Shoreditch, watch it. I don't know. I'll do something in it. But that gives me a lot of hope for that press conference. But I'm gonna take everything with a pinch of salt. It's all good speaking a good game. Now you got to actually do it. Walking the walk and talking the talk and all that stuff. The transfer strategy right now, God knows. God knows who we're after right now. I want to see the Kyle Walker-Peters deal done. I want to see the Max Kilman deal either left or done. I'm trying to see either. Put it that way, because we need to either leave that. We can't just keep going after Max Kilman, try to negotiate when they clearly want 45 million and they clearly try to extort us, etc. Which they should be extorting us because they are the sellers. Obviously, Rashane Thomas, who was in a press conference, said, "Press conference is finished. Julen Lopetegui came across really well. Best line is Tim Stein being adamant that West Ham don't have to sell in order to buy this summer. A lot of good bits in the embargoed section." Well then, at least, well, apparently it should be on YouTube later as well, but obviously we've got to be early and stuff. Like, I wanted to get this stream done. I might be streaming for another 10 minutes. I've got Wimbledon on in the background. I'm going to probably stream for another 10, 20 more minutes. I'm not particularly sure. But I'm actually just trying to find news that I can put down on Twitter that has to do with transfers. Because the Kyle Walker-Peters deal just went quiet after one day. Obviously, I do think that's going to happen just because of the Flynn Down stuff. We've actually used the Flynn Down stuff to our advantage. Some of the quotes from Lopetegui has been posted on Sky Sports. Obviously, Ben Johnson's confirmed his thing to Ipswich. I don't really care. We've talked about it before. I spoke about him leaving yesterday. I'm not too bothered. I don't particularly care. Apparently, the home kit, is going to be out on Wednesday as well, so I'll probably do a video on that. I usually get the home kit every year. We'll see if it's good this year. I actually liked the home kit last year. You can see it actually in the background of my screen right now as well. But I actually have no idea what the kit's going to be. I'm not really excited about the kit, to be completely honest with you, because I actually want us to try something different. But I've also liked some of the kits recent, like over the past few years, like the 2021 kit, the 21-22 kit, etc. Those are iconic kits when you look at it. There's literally nothing that. The problem is with the search bar on Twitter now is that it gives you tweets from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, etc. It's annoying, man. It's annoying. I don't know why Twitter has done this thing where pretty much tweets go back to 2021 and 2022 when you search up something to do with your club, etc. That's my problem with Twitter nowadays. I don't know what that app has turned into, if I'm being completely honest. We haven't got any news. We haven't got any Fabrizio's. Obviously, ex-West Ham employees stuff hasn't come out yet. He hasn't reported either. But what targets do you think West Ham should get in the comments? Put that in the chat. Is there any players that you want? Is there any positions that you feel like we need to improve on? Put that in the chat and let's discuss, man. Let's have some discussions. Is there any right backs do you guys want? Obviously, the right back list came out like a few days ago and people weren't happy with that. I'll be real, I wasn't happy with it either. The only one I was really impressed with was Kyle Walker-Peters as a right back, but I also think ex-West Ham employees' words were a bit misconstrued. I believe that we should be trying to find a right back that's actually kind of balanced, someone that's going to go forward and someone that's going to defend as well. If you've only just come into the stream as well, we've just reacted to the press conference. We just finished it. So if you want to know my thoughts on all the quotes, go back on the video. But we need players immediately. We need players this week. Also, let's look at the pre-season as well. I want you guys to let me know what you guys think of the pre-season, because I don't know. I actually don't really look into pre-season that much, even though I do try and watch. But also, we've only got 4 games, guys. We've only got 4 games in pre-season. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me a sec. Smash the likes as well, by the way. Smash the likes and subscribe if you're new. I was nearly shared my StreamYard screen. So let me just scroll up quickly. Dagenham and Redbridge first, and then Wolves and Palace. These are the games that are in the US. So we start the 20th of July. I feel like, do we usually start earlier than that in pre-season? I'm not too sure. But obviously we've got a short American trip, and then we've got Celta Vigo as the Betway Cup. The Betway Cup is back. Let's retain our title. The ultimate title of the Betway Cup. And then we've got Aston Villa first game of the season. Obviously, I'm going to be there. That's a tough first game, of course. Obviously, Palace away was actually my prediction that I made on a stream. I'm pretty sure I made it on one of the streams in May or June. talking about what would it be our first game of the season. I predicted Palace away. I was very close. I was very close. That's our first away game. I'm not looking forward to that. Obviously, we've got Man City at home. Of course, we've got Man City at home. We always have Man City at home in August or September, don't we? But Dagenham and Redbridge away, I enjoyed. There was actually 363 days after the last Dagenham and Redbridge game where we drew 2-2 with a mixture of players in our squad. Very nice stadium, by the way. I went there for the Dylan Tom Bedes event. That was again very good stadium. Obviously, Dagenham and Redbridge fans, they're very, very nice people. Wolves and Palace. I don't really know what playing Premier League teams in pre-season is really going to tell us. Especially with the fact that we won't have Bowen there. We won't have Fabianski. Not Fabianski. We won't have Areola. We won't have again. I don't know whether we have again. I don't think again wants to be here anyway. We won't have Sufal. Won't have Souček. We won't have Sufal and Souček. I don't really care. We won't have Jared Bowen. I don't know whether we'll have Kudus. We won't have Paquetá because he's at Brazil. And they're going to be given their extended break due to the whole international stuff as well. So all of that. We're going to see some youngsters though. Obviously, we did see the previous reports from May that George Urphy and Freddie Potts were going to be included within this preseason. So I'm hoping they actually impress, because it might be a case of they might wait until they come into the preseason to see if we actually need anyone in those positions. I think George Urphy is more likely to feature than Freddie Potts. However, Freddie Potts impressed that much on his loan at Wickham that you never know. You never know that he could be a squad player in the first team. And that might actually solve all our problems with Flynn Downs going. We actually just might make profit off that. However, we did lose Ben Johnson. We might have to buy Kyle Walker-Peters as well. But the most important thing is we got to stop pocket watching. We just got to look at what's the best for the club. And we've got to look at, was this a good transfer window or not? A lot of people, and a lot of the trend nowadays is to pocket watch. To look at, do West Ham need to buy? Do West Ham need to sell? And then people do that with their own clubs as well. Always pocket watching and always looking at the financial aspect. Now they're a financial advisor all of a sudden on Twitter. You've got all these people that apparently are experts in finance on Twitter. However, we just need to look at, is this player good enough for our club that we buy? Are we buying good enough players? Are we selling the wrong players? Are we letting go the wrong players? I don't care about the Ben Johnson getting released. I know people in meltdown just because he's one of our own in the academy and stuff. People also, like someone put in my comment section the other day, people pretend like Ben Johnson was a West Ham fan. He's an Arsenal fan growing up. Not that it makes a difference to me. It's just, let's not lie. Let's not lie to put all this sentiment on. I don't believe in sentiment. I don't really care that much. The only one I'm really sentimental for in the squad is Mikel Antonio and Jared Bowen. Jared Bowen obviously winning us the Conference League with a winning goal. And Mikel Antonio after all he's done for us. Other than that, I don't really care. Like, I can appreciate Souček as a cult hero. I can appreciate Sufal as a cult hero. Fornals was a cult hero. Ben Rama was a cult hero. But nothing above that. They're not legends at the club. They're not legends. Bowen may be considered one day, and Antonio probably is considered one because he's our top goal scorer, for God's sakes, in the Premier League. And I'm pretty sure he's close to overtaking everyone if he hasn't already in terms of goals. And I reckon he'll be a key part next season, even though with how old he is. He always seems to be a key part of West Ham United season. Always seems to turn up in big games and always seems to turn up just in general. So I'm looking forward to see what Lopetegui does and how he gets the best out of the players that are already here. And the most important things, we're all looking at new players, etc., new ideas, but also what a coach should be really good at is also getting the best out of the players that he actually has already. Now, I don't expect him to turn Souček into a guy that can actually pass the ball and Sufal to a guy that can actually not, pretend to fall over every time he has the ball or kick the ball out of play every time. I don't believe, because I believe that they ain't got the footballing IQ at all. However, I believe he can get the best out of the players that are already good enough and extend them on to bigger and better things. Like, for example, I think Jared Bowen could score 20 goals next season because he was already close to it already. And in the attacking system, if he stays fully fit, why not? He was close to it and he had a couple of injuries already. I believe Mohamed Kudus is going to go up a level and he's probably going to play in the middle way more often. It's going to be interesting to see how Lopetegui sees the Paquetá, Kudus, Bowen, how he fits them all in. It's going to be hard to see that in preseason because two of them won't be there. I don't even know if Kudus will be there. So we are going to see, guys. We are going to see. But I am going to stream more often. I will be ending the stream here. Thank you for everyone for watching. You guys deserve more streams because you guys have been supporting like crazy. So yeah, I'm sorry for not streaming as much. I will be streaming more in the summer. So this is only the start of July. We'll be streaming more often and more news. The more news that comes out, the more I'll stream. But like the video, subscribe if you're new. Social medias, GVO mics on all platforms. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.